Now, I've asked this question before. What our world needs now is you. What our world needs now are mature followers of Jesus. What our world needs now are mature disciples who live love, who love Jesus with all of their being, who love people and who serve the world. What the world needs now is you as you live your life to be Christ-like. In other words, we act and react as Jesus would call us to act. We strive to be Christ-like. I mean, think about it. If we could be Christ-like in the way that we interact with people, the way that we react, it would change so much, wouldn't it? If you and I were to be Christ-like, it would transition our families. It would impact our church, our community, our world. And so the question is this: what does Christ-like look like? Well, the Apostle Paul tells us. The Apostle Paul, who wrote 10% of the Bible. The Apostle Paul, on his great 3 missionary journeys around the Mediterranean basin, planting churches and boldly proclaiming the gospel, tells us what it looks like to be Christ-like. He calls it the fruits of the Spirit. Now, I love that word fruit, okay, because it's not something that we do. By our own power, our own strength, our own intellect, we would fail over and over again. We would screw it up, we would mess up, we would fail miserably. But Paul calls them fruit. And see, the fruit is produced in us and through us as a result of our submission to God's Spirit within us. See, as Paul says, as we walk by the Spirit, as we keep in step with the Spirit, then this fruit will be produced in and through us. And my friends, the same Spirit, God's Spirit, is alive and well in you. I want you to think about this. The same Spirit that transformed the disciples from hiding behind locked doors to boldly professing their faith, the same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead is alive and well in you. Not a portion of that Spirit, but a full measure of that Spirit. God's Spirit is alive and well in you. And as we keep in step with the Spirit, then God promises us this fruit will be produced in us. And you know what the fruit is, right? From Galatians chapter 5, beginning at verse 22. And the fruit of the Spirit is love. Okay, that's the catch-all, right? All the other fruits of the Spirit, all the characteristics of what it looks like to be Christ-like, flows in and out of love. Love is fulfillment of the law, is what Paul writes. So the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. I love that. Against such things there is no law. In other words, Paul is saying, you can max it out. Live it out to the full. You cannot have too much love. You cannot practice too much patience. You cannot have too much peace or too much joy. There is no law against it. Nobody, just live it out to the max.